How you doing? I'm Daniel Mosnet with Cowboy Charcoal, and we have a great chicken recipe for you today. Now, this isn't one of those, oh, Dad, not chicken again kind of recipes. This is gonna be one of your all-time favorites. It's super easy to do. All we're doing is we're taking some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. We're wrapping that in some fantastic Compart Duroc bacon. If you can get Compart Duroc bacon, you really have to. There's really no comparison. You can use any bacon that you like, but Compart Duroc, the flavor, the tenderness, the way it cooks up and seizes around that chicken, the chicken thigh is fantastic. So we're gonna wrap that, we're gonna throw it on the grill, we're gonna let it cook off a little bit. We'll add a little bit of barbecue sauce right to the top of it, let it caramelize, and that's dinner. It's super easy. With all the recipes that we show you, they're really simple and easy. If I can do them, anybody can do them. You can guarantee you that. So let's get started. We're gonna take a few boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and when you go pick these up at the store, they have a little residual fat on them. You can see right around there. That's okay. I've trimmed off just about all of the fat that I can see. A little bit on there is okay, but you want to try and take off as much as you can. You've got the bacon, which will render down, so you've got enough fat content to keep your chicken nice and moist. So take off as much as you can, make it as healthy as possible. You're wrapping it in bacon, so it's not super healthy to start with, but you can make it as healthy as you can. So to get this recipe started, we're gonna take Christy Vanover's chicken rub. Simple. This is one of the better chicken rubs that I've found. It's got that nice balance of sweet and heat, and we're just gonna give it a nice little coating. Make sure you open it up inside and out to make sure you have all flavor all over the place, okay? You gotta do that for each one of these. So this is basically a paprika-based rub, but you can see all of the herbs and spices in there. It's a Spiceology blend. They do a really good job with their seasoning blends. I go back and forth between Jack Daniel's chicken rub, which is a very kind of paprika-based, very basic chicken rub. It's not too spicy, so it's gonna be easy for anybody in your family to eat. This has a little bit more kick. In addition to the kick that this rub has, we're going to add some Cowboy Prairie Fire barbecue sauce once our chicken is just about done cooking. And then we're gonna let that glaze right over the top of it. So chicken thighs for me are probably my favorite. I'm a little bit more of a Thanksgiving turkey leg kind of guy, not necessarily a turkey breast kind of guy. So legs and thighs for me are my favorite part of really any poultry. You get a little bit more fat content, darker meat, you get a little bit more moist and tender. So these are, I picked these up at the store, they were already deboned and skinless. But when they do, they have a little bit, when you pick them up at the store, you'll see right on the edges, they'll have a little bit of that fat. I've cut most of it off here and on this side, but those are the two areas that you really want to make sure that you get most of the fat out. Okay, just a little bit more seasoning on this last one. And then just like a good turn-in box, if you're doing competition barbecue, you want to make sure you just roll your chicken thigh so it retains that shape. You always want to think about how you're going to present your food, and that makes for a nice presentation. You don't really want to cook it flat open like this, like a breast. You want to roll it so it looks good. And if it looks good to you, it's going to look good to your guests, your kids, whoever you're feeding tonight. And there you go. So that's our chicken. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to open up our bacon. And our grill is nice and hot. We've got that loaded with Cowboy Oak and Hickory lump charcoal. This has been burning for about 20 minutes or so, so we're pretty warm. We're probably about 350, 400. With this, you're gonna have to watch out because you've got bacon on here. So if you start to cook a little bit too hot and you start to burn, you're gonna need to move that to a cooler part of the fire, Okay, so now we've got our bacon open. Get another set of gloves on. My first and only barbecue competition, I was fortunate enough to leave the toothpicks in my chicken thighs, so I was disqualified because judges don't like to eat toothpicks, I guess. So from here, we're just gonna take our thigh. I'm gonna roll this a little, roll this under so you have a nice rolled piece, and we're just gonna wrap our bacon all the way around. You can get this as tight as you want. You can use a couple of pieces of bacon if you want. I'm gonna use one, and I'm gonna secure each end with a toothpick. One and two. Once this cooks and seizes up, you'll be able to remove the toothpicks relatively easily. We've got a few pieces to do here. You can do this over a couple of different styles of grills. You can do this easily over a gas grill. Might be the easiest way to do it. You fire up your gas grill, let your wood chips sit on the gas grill for about 15 minutes or so till they get nice and smoky, or as soon as you see that smoke starting. Once your gas grill, after about 15 minutes, once your gas grill is up to about 350 degrees, then you can add your chicken. You can do this on the Komodo, you can do this on a smoker and just let it smoke away. Okay, so now once we have our little chicken bombs here, we're gonna take a little bit more of the chicken rub, and I'm just gonna go right back over the top. The little sprinkle to make sure we have enough flavor coating all sides. Put those over, those sides, put those over. I think we're good. Okay. Now that we're completely wrapped, we're gonna take these pieces right over to the grill. Grab my tongs. Right over the grill, and I'm gonna put them over relatively indirect heat. I've got two zones going here. I've got a hotter zone here. This is probably about 400, 450, that's hot. And then this side here is probably about 350 or so. So I'm gonna add these to the cooler side, and then we'll just let these cook. All right, there we go. We'll let these cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll keep an eye on them. We'll make sure that they're not overcooking. We'll make sure that we don't have a lot of flare-ups around the bacon. If we do have some of those flare-ups, we'll just move the chicken to another spot so we don't get that heat, that we don't get those fire coming up too much and kissing the bacon. We don't want that to burn before the chicken's cooked internally. Okay, we're just about done here with our chicken. We want to make sure that they temp at least 165, 162, 4, 167. So these are good. Make sure your chicken hits 165, all your poultry hits 165. Everything's had a chance to caramelize. We're gonna hit it with a little bit more barbecue sauce right at the end, and we're gonna show you how we plate this up. Really simple dinner. Just keep your eye on it, and when things start to get a little too hot, just move it to a cooler side of the grill. So we've got our plate. We're gonna add our grilled tomatoes right to the side. All right, so we've got our tomatoes here. We're just gonna add, remember what we talked about earlier, make sure that we take out both toothpicks out of each piece of chicken before you serve it. There, you can see your toothpicks. If your bacon gets a little bit crispy on the bottom, that's a-okay. We all like crispy bacon. And your toothpicks will look a little bit burned, but they're okay on the inside. Two. If you try to only use the same amount of toothpicks on every piece of chicken, then all you have to do is remember that number. So I put 2 toothpicks in every chicken. That way I know to remove 2 toothpicks out of every piece of chicken. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit more barbecue sauce. Because I like the taste of that prairie fire. So we'll just dollop a little bit with barbecue sauce right across the top. Just get a little bit more of that fresh flavor. And then once you've hit it with barbecue sauce, you can take just a little bit of fresh parsley. Just gonna sprinkle it just over the top, just a little bit for some color. That's it. Here's a trick with your fresh parsley in the refrigerator. Just put it in a ball jar glass, a mason jar, with a little bit of water. It'll stay for a few extra days. So we're just gonna add a little bit of parsley over the top. That's what it looks like. Let's see what it tastes like. We've got one more piece in here. Perfectly cooked, right in the middle. That's excellent. It's nice and crispy. The bacon's very crispy. That chicken rub is perfect on there. Prairie fire, just a little bit of heat. Yeah. That's good. That's really good. I'm Daniel Mosnet with Cowboy Charcoal. We'll see you next time.